and welcome to chapter 20. We're really a long way through the book. For a few days, the children had no time to even think of going to their friends in the faraway tree. Their mother was in bed ill, and the doctor came each day. Let her just lie in bed and keep warm, he said to the children and their father. Give her what she likes to eat, and don't let her worry about anything. The children and father were upset, but father had to go to work as usual. They all loved mother, and it was strange to see her lying in bed. There's all that washing that I had to do for Mrs. Jones, she said. No, you children are not to try and do it. It's too much for you. Moonface and Silky came to visit the children one morning and were very sorry to hear that the children's mother was ill. She worries about the washing, said Beth. She won't let us do it. I don't know what to do about it. Oh, we can manage that for you, said Silky at once. Oh, Dame Washalot will do it for nothing. It's the joy of her life to wash, wash, wash. I believe if she's got nothing dirty to wash, she washes clean things. She even washes the leaves on the faraway tree if she's got nothing else to wash. Is that the basket over there? Moonface and I will take it up the tree now and bring it back when it's finished. Oh, thank you, Silky, said Beth gratefully. Mother will be pleased when I tell her. She'll stop worrying about that. Silky and Moonface went off with the basket. They took it to Dame Washalot, and how her face shone with joy when she saw such a lot of washing to be done. My, this is good of you, she said, taking out the dirty things and throwing them into her enormous wash tub of soapy water. Now, this is what I really enjoy. I'll have them all washed and ironed by tonight. Silky was pleased. She knew how beautifully Dame Washalot washed and ironed. She went up to Moonface's house to have dinner with him. I do wish we could help make the children's mother better, she said. She's such a lovely lady, isn't she? And the children love her so much. Moonface, can't we possibly think of something? Well, I don't think toffee shocks would be any good, do you? Said Moonface. I've got some of those. Of course not, silly, said Silky. It's medicine we want, pills or something. But as nobody is ill in the faraway tree, there's nowhere to find them. That night they went to see if Dame Washalot had finished the washing. She had. It was washed and beautifully ironed and folded up in the basket, ready to be taken away. She had a lovely time, said the old dame, beaming at Silky. My water I've poured down the tree today. So much of it. Yes, I've heard the angry pixie shouting like anything because he got soaked at least 4 times, said Moonface. He's got plums growing on the tree just outside his house, and he was picking them, and each time he went out to pick them, he got soaked with your water. You must be careful he doesn't come up and shout at you. If he does, I'll put him into my next wash tub of dirty water and empty him down the tree with it, said Dame Washalot. I wish I could see you do that, said Silky, trying a rope to the basket of the washing so that she could let it down the tree at the bottom. Well, Dame Washalot, thank you very much. The person who usually does this washing is ill in bed and can't seem to get better. It's such a pity. I wish I could make her well. Why, Silky, the land of magic medicines is coming tomorrow, said old Dame. You could get any medicine there you like, and your friend would soon get better. Why don't you visit the land and get some? That's a really good idea, said Silky happily, letting down the basket bit by bit. Moonface had gone to the bottom of the tree to catch it. I'll tell Moonface, and maybe he and I could go there and get some medicine. She slipped down the tree and told Moonface what the old dame had said. Moonface put the basket of washing on his shoulder and beamed at Silky. That's good news for the children, he said. Come on, we'll hurry and tell them. The children were delighted to have the washing back so quickly all washed and ironed. Rick set off with it to Mrs. Jones's. Beth ran to tell her mother that she needn't worry about it any more. Silky told Joe and Frannie about the land of magic medicines coming the next day to the top of the Faraway Tree. They listened in surprise. Well, I vote we go there, said Joe at once. I'd made up my mind none of us would go while Mother was ill, but if there's a chance of getting something to help her better, we'll certainly go. One of us must stay behind with Mother, and the rest of us will go. So it was arranged that Joe, Rick and Beth should meet the Moonface at his house early the next morning. Then they would go to the strange land and see what they could find for their mother. Frannie was quite willing to stay with her mother, though she felt a little bit left out. She said goodbye to Joe, Rick and Beth soon after breakfast the next day and promised to wash up breakfast things carefully and to sit with her mother until the rest of them came back. They set off and arrived outside Moonface's house at the top of the tree. Very soon afterwards, Moonface and Silky were waiting for them. Is old Saucepan Man coming? Said Joe. Hi, Saucepan. Do you want to come? Shouted Moonface, leaning down the tree. Saucepan was with What's-her-name. Amazingly, he heard what Moonface said and shouted back, Yes, I'll come. Where to? Up the ladder, yelled Moonface. Hurry! So Saucepan came with him, and in a while they stood in the land of magic medicines. It was just as peculiar as every land that came to the top of the Faraway Tree. It didn't seem to be a land at all. When the children had climbed up the ladder to the top, they found themselves in what looked like a great big factory, and a place where all kinds of pills and medicines and bandages and so on were made. Goblins and gnomes and pixies and fairies were busy as they could be, stirring great pots over curious green fires, pouring medicines into shining bottles and counting out pills to put into coloured boxes. In one corner, a goblin was stirring a purple mixture in a yellow bowl. Beth looked at it. It's a kind of ointment, she said to the others. I wonder what it's for. It's to make your bad leg strong again, said the goblin, stirring it hard. Do you want some? Well, I don't know anyone with bad legs, said Beth, but thank you all the same. If I did, I'd love to have some, because it would be marvellous to make somebody's bad legs better. A pixie nearby was pouring some sparkling green medicine into bottles shaped like bubbles. The children and the others watched. It made a funny singing noise as it went in. What's that for? Said Joe. Whoever takes this will always have shining eyes, said the pixie. Shining, smiling eyes are the loveliest eyes in the world. Is this medicine you have come for? Well, not exactly, said Joe. I'd like to have some, though. Oh, your eyes are smiley eyes, said the pixie, looking at him. This is for sad people whose eyes have become dull. Come with me. When you are an old man and your eyes cannot see very well, I will give you plenty then. Oh, said Joe. Well, I won't be here then. I've only come for a short visit. Rick called to the others. Look, he cried, here's some really marvellous pills. Watch them being made. Everyone watched. It was the most astonishing thing to see. First of all, the pills were enormous, as large as footballs. A goblin blew on them with a pair of bellows, out of which came green smoke, and they at once went down to the size of a cricket ball. He then splashed them with what looked like moonlight from a watering can, and they went as small as matches. Then he blew on them gently, and they went as small as green peas, and each one jumped into a pillbox with a ping-pong-ping until the box was full. What are they for? Asked Rick. To make short people tall, said the goblin. Some people hate being short. Well, these pills are made of big things. The shadow of a mountain, the height of a tree, the crash of a thunderstorm, things like that. And they have the power to make anything in the world grow. Could I have have some?" asked Rick eagerly. "Take a boxful," said the goblin. Rick took it. He read what it was written on the label. "Growing pills, one to be taken 3 times a day." Now Rick was not very tall for his age, and he'd always wanted to be big. He looked longingly at the pills. He took 3 at once. Maybe he would grow taller. That would be great. He popped 3 of the pills in his mouth and sucked them. They tasted so horrible that he swallowed them all in a hurry. Oh, goodness, what a surprise when the others turned to speak to Rick. He was taller than their father. He was as tall as the ceiling of their cottage. He towered above them, looking down on them in alarm, for he hadn't expected to grow quite so much or as quickly. "Rick, you've been taking those growing pills," cried Joe. "Just the sort of stupid thing you would do. You're enormous. How in the world do you think you'll ever get down the hole in the cloud?" "Oh, do something to help me," begged Rick, who really was frightened to be so enormous. Everyone else looked so small. "Joe, Moonface, what can I do? I'm still growing. I'll burst out of the roof in a minute." The goblins and pixies around suddenly noticed how fast Rick was growing, and they began to shout and squeal. "He'll break through the roof! He'll bring it down on top of us! Quick, stop him growing!" And that's the end of chapter 20. So maybe you could draw me a picture of the land of special medicines. Sounds very interesting. See you tomorrow. Bye.